Alright, how's everybody doing this evening? Yeah, it's another late one. Even in the book it says some will sleep, some won't. With these energies, I'm one of those that does not sleep. But I've shown this picture quite a bit. And, it is what it is. But what I find funny about this is, that kind of looks like an hourglass, right? And I've even mentioned, like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. So I want to go back into something here a little bit. Remember a long time ago, there was an audio come out about Donald Trump. He was caught on a hot mic. Now remember, there's no such thing as a hot mic. If they didn't want you to know, you wouldn't. He was caught bragging in vulgar terms about using his fame to kiss and grope women without their consent. And basically he said just grab them by the vagina, right? And oddly enough, that was on a tour bus while arriving to film a cameo for the soap opera Days of Our Lives. And that happened. That's a pretty famous date these days, isn't it? October 7th, for one reason or another. So, when I talk about, Trump playing the character he does, and, it's like I said before, it's a big mental thing, right? But they're telling you right there. So, that's the point of the story where, and again, Satan and demons and angels, and look, it's beings, just beings, good and bad. Remember the old comic Spy versus Spy? You had the white spy, the black spy, right? And I showed you the half white, half black dude. It's that whole duality thing. It's just people doing bad things. That's all it was. It's just beings, whatever you want to call them. It is what it is. But, something I've never really talked about was this right here. I've mentioned it off and on. But that too is just something to think about and add on to the list that hasn't been spoke of yet. So hopefully we've only got another day of this madness, but we'll see, right? For all the activity that was on the sun, it kind of went quiet over the last couple hours, near as I can tell. So I don't know if this is going to be the 24 hours of peace, so to speak, from the sun. We already had, the cargo ship with the number 10 on it, which is, and that's why, people will say 9 is completion because 10 is just a 1 and a 0 all over again. It has to do with Planet X. So, yes, in this reality, what we deal with, 10 is a completion cycle. So, and then with Spain being the first, I'm pretty sure, just like you, if you look through history, our own military has done things, and it's not our military, it wasn't military, but our government has conducted tests on its own population, correct? So it was probably tested on Spain, let's say, because that was the first. They did it on their own population, and then I'm pretty sure they came after us. I think that's why we saw the 2 detonations off the coast of Florida again, right? Symbolic of something in those waters, because there again, they were after, and you have to look at it like, okay, the moon is a reflection, so when you see all the dust in the craters on the moon, you're seeing the surface of the earth. We also live on the sun, and probably the 50 some odd states that we claim as U.S. territories are probably, just like Saturn and its moons, Jupiter and its moons, the Son of Man and its moons are probably represented with all the different states. Florida, was probably an outer planet, if you will. Maybe the easiest one to reach. It sits out there on a peninsula, right? But like I said, we never know the whole story really, but we kind of do roughly, and they put it out there. So that's just something else to think about while I had a second here. All right, everybody, take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.